There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Hello and welcome back to Could It Be?
An Oak Island podcast.
We are your hosts, Deidre and Dustin White.
Hey, we got something special happening today.
Yes, so today we have a very special guest on the podcast. He's an icon and has been in the entertainment business for decades.
Yeah, his voice work in video games include roles for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the Da Vinci Code, Final Fantasy 15, The Last of Us Part 2, and most notably as Jim Raynor, the lead in the StarCraft universe.
His TV acting credits include work on The Waltons, MASH, The Young and the Restless, Matlock, Three's Company, Columbo, The Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, and Doogie Howser, MD.
But his acting credits include film voice work for the movies such as Mulan, Hercules, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War, and as Charlie himself in Charlie's Angels. He also is a narrator, and his credits for narration include Star Wars, Empire of Dreams, Ancient Aliens, and for the purposes of this podcast, we know him best as the narrator of Beyond Oak Island and The Curse of Oak Island. We proudly bring to our listeners somebody that definitely deserves some kind of lifetime achievement award in the not too distant future, the legendary Mr. Robert Clotworthy. Welcome, Robert.
Wow, that's it's quite an introduction. I'm impressed. You really had to go into the Wayback Machine to pull out MASH and the Waltons and Emergency. Okay. And as far as Oak Island, maybe they're going to, people get frustrated. They may toss me down into 10X, never to be heard from again. But we'll see.
I highly doubt it.
Like 10X is looking to get stable this next year, according to that most recent episode. So
it's pretty exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so much fun stuff happening on Oak Island. We loved your work on the Beyond Oak Island as well, and we want to touch on all of that today. So we'll just begin with some questions, right?
Yeah, so we have listeners' questions, we have questions, all the questions.
Yeah, just to prove that it's me, I guess I should say, is it possible? Could it be? All right, now you know that it's me.
Yes.
Well, that's actually perfect because our first question is about a certain phrase. So.
Right. Yeah. Your iconic phrase, could it be, is our namesake. So thank you for saying it all the time. We appreciate it. Which, of course, leads to the first question. Did you come up with the phrase, could it be, all by yourself? Or was it already written in the script? And that's a question that comes from Teresa on Facebook.
Well, that's a great question. I have to give credit to the late producer Kevin Burns, the man that created Ancient Aliens and The Curse of Oak Island. He was a marvelous writer, and I think we actually first used "Could It Be" with Ancient Aliens, and it was something that kind of moved over into The Curse of Oak Island. Now he wrote it, but I made it my own. So I guess the two of us worked hand in hand to create a catchphrase there. And whenever I say it, I know people are excited about it. They really have taken to it. I to be honest with you, I don't know exactly why, because it's just me saying it. But at the same time, I know that when I do it, I'm having a lot of fun, and I know the audience likes to hear it. So whenever I say it in the show, I'm kind of giving a little acknowledgement, a little wink to the people that are tuning in, letting them know that I know they're there, they know I'm there, and this is a kind of a little. It's like with oh God, what's her name that used to like do this to her ear to kind of do that little secret signal to her mom. Well, that's my my way of acknowledging everybody that's watching. I always try to change it up a little bit.
Well, how many different ways can you do it? But I mean, we really appreciate it because it's just, I don't know. I look forward to, I listen very carefully for when the Could It Be comes across, because we don't get it every episode, but when we get it, we cherish it.
No. We don't want to wear it out.
Oh, no. We're like, oh, that was a good Could It Be?
Well, sometimes I'll say, could it be possible? Just to kind of throw you a little bit.
Yeah, well, we, as our name, Could It Be an Oak Island podcast, we we probably look for it more than others. So.
Well, it was kind of natural when we
Oh,
decided.
thank you, Carol Burnett. Thank you.
Oh, Carol
Thank you.
Burnett,
People are out there bailing me out. Something going, that actress that did this, Carol Burnett. Thank you.
Gotcha.
When we said we should do this podcast about the Curse of Oak Island, and Dustin goes, "What are we gonna name it?" And just it fell out of my mouth. I said, "Could it be? What else would we name it? Is there another name?"
Nope.
And here we are talking with Could It Be guy.
Yeah, I'll even make it so that it's not even a question. It's just more of a statement.
That's
Well,
wonderful.
it's a statement heard around the world. So.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So actually, that question was from Trisha.
Okay.
What I must.
Well, thank you,
have said-
Trisha.
Yeah, I think you said Teresa, but that's
Oh,
fine.
I probably
it's
did.
totally no big deal. All right, so so we could probably talk to you all day and cover your extraordinary career, like we said at the top of the episode. We have, you have credits. We didn't even do a third of your credits, not even a quarter of your
Well,
credits.
you pulled all the ones from the 1970s and 80s, and nothing even of this millennium.
A couple. We did.
Only
Hey,
a couple.
we did mention Ancient Aliens, and we did mention Curse of Oak Island, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So, however, so your relationship with Prometheus began like in 2004 with Star Wars: The Empire of Dreams, right?
That's right.
And
That was the first one.
I've seen that documentary probably 10 or 15 times. I love it. One of my favorite parts is when you're talking about George Lucas's hometown, because that's my hometown. I grew up in Modesto, California, and I just love Star Wars as well. So before you landed that gig, were you like a Star Wars fan at all?
I mean, who wasn't a Star Wars fan? I actually saw it at the Chinese theater when it first came out. So yeah, of course. And I was a huge fan of George Lucas, and I'm really a fan of mythology and storytelling, and of Joseph Campbell. So when Star Wars came out, it was basically that formula, and so it mesmerized me as well. And I had friends. I think I knew Mark Hamill at the time, because we were, everybody was bouncing around as an actor, seeing each other at auditions. So I'm sure I ran into him, a few times at that point. And, there were people that were in the movie or were cast and almost going to be in it. So it was one of those things that we would talk about quite a bit as a young actor in Hollywood. I wish I had been in it. I would have loved that. But eventually I did get to work with George Lucas on Empire of Dreams. Yeah.
Well, it's a great documentary. It's on Disney Plus if anybody wants to go and watch it.
Nominated for an Emmy. Yeah, it truly is great. What it is, it's the making of the original trilogy. And the documentary that I did was a 2-hour standalone DVD that came with that re-release of the first 3 films, episodes 4, 5, and 6 on DVD. So, and everybody was in it. Harrison Ford, who does not give interviews, certainly doesn't like to talk about Star Wars. He came on for this. So everybody is in the documentary, and it truly is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. Like I saw it on the DVD when I bought those special edition DVDs. I hadn't even watched Star Wars until 1997 when it was the 20th anniversary. My family didn't expose me to it, I guess, but I love Star Wars, and Deidre's a big fan too.
Yeah, we did another documentary with George Lucas. It was called The Legacy Revealed. I don't know if you've seen that one. Of the two, that's actually my favorite.
Oh.
It's Star Wars: The Legacy Revealed, and it talks about the mythology of Star Wars. It breaks it down, and to me, it's utterly fascinating.
I don't know how I missed it, but I need to go back.
Then I just gave you a wonderful gift, because it's a terrific documentary. And of course, yours truly is narrating.
Good. Wonderful.
Then it must be watched.
Yeah,
it must be.
Yeah, I've seen most of the Star Wars movies,
or should we say, watched it must be, kind of a Yoda kind of a.
Yeah, there you go. I've seen probably all the Star Wars movies 100 times each, up through episode 6, 1 through 6, but not like the newer ones yet. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I missed it somehow, but it's going to be on my list. So thank you.
I find it interesting that you said you really love like storytelling, right? And I mean, I'm sure you've seen these bad boys.
Oh,
You're the color of
yeah,
Taylor,
yeah.
you know,
I have the complete set. They sent that to me.
That was us.
that is
Oh, it's
us.
you? Oh my goodness, yes, of
Cool.
course. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Most people don't put us together usually initially as we are the trading card people,
Yeah.
those crazy people.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, well, we made sure that you were in the set because you are as every a bit of a member of the Fellowship of the Dig as anybody else. So
Yeah, I feel that I'm there with them every step of the way. You know, I'm
yeah,
not getting my hands dirty. There's no dirt underneath my fingernails, but
yes,
yeah, I'm intimately involved with what they're
Yeah,
doing for sure.
absolutely.
yeah, right on.
Let's see here. Where are you at? Sorry. So it seems like Kevin Burns, I mean, we talked about
Yeah.
him a little bit
Yeah.
earlier. It was a really rare breed in the entertainment industry and really a visionary, right? I mean, he came up with the "Could it be" line, and you delivered.
Yeah, he was quite amazing. He was certainly a force to be reckoned with. He was emotional, he was brilliant, he was loyal, he was the brightest guy in the room, humble, funny. I mean, he had all of it. He and I literally, he was just a couple of months older than I am. So we grew up at the same period of time. We watched the same shows growing up at the same time. You know, he was 9, I was 9. We were watching the same thing. So I really understood his fascination with early television. And he also taught film at Boston University. So he had this great intellect. He was basically a professor of film. In fact, in his offices in Hollywood, he put it right on Hollywood and Vine. He wanted to be in the center of Hollywood. He's on the top floor of this building, 18, 19 stories up, with outside of his window, you could see the Hollywood sign. And he filled the office with Hollywood memorabilia. He was an incredible collector of things. But also this had this kid-like aspect to him where he liked to play. And at all of that, and he just made this amazing environment for people to be creative. He supported you in your creativity. I asked him one time why he chose me as the narrator, and he used me all the time. I mean, this is an amazing relationship that I had with this guy that it goes back 16 plus years. And he would plug me into things all the time, and he called me his good luck charm. Well, I asked him one time, and this was about Ancient Aliens, why he, you know, hired me. And he said, he goes, sometimes I write this stuff. He goes, and I look at it and I think, God, this is such crap. He goes, but then he goes, I hear you say it and I believe it. And so I had this unique relationship where he was the mind and I was the mouth that would articulate the words and tell his story. So it was an intimate relationship that he trusted me to do this. And I just kind of just allowed whatever he wrote to just kind of, I was the vessel to just release it. So I'm sure that when he was writing, could it be, what if it were true? Is it possible? All that kind of stuff. And he kept plugging that stuff in. He wanted to hear it a certain way. And obviously I was giving it to him. I was having fun with it. He was having fun listening to it. When we would do shows, we would do something what they call a scratch track, where it's an early, maybe it's the first cut of Curse of Oak Island, for example. And normally you'd have a producer or an editor that would kind of just say the words that I was eventually going to come in to say. He didn't want to hear anybody else do it. He would bring me in to do the scratch track because he just did not want to hear anybody else say these words other than me. And I took that as a great compliment. And I miss him terribly because he was such a wonderful human being. But he created this wonderful environment, creative environment, and the people that are now running Prometheus, we didn't lose a step. And I'm so proud of Kim and Dave and Joe, who had to step in an impossible situation and take over for somebody who was, I mean, he was it. He was the guy you went to if you had a question, the guy that would make the final decision, the guy that knew how to tweak things a little bit to give it a little unique spin to make it interesting. He was the fellow that discovered, Rick and Marty Lagina and brought their story to television. And when you think that 3 million people tune in each and every week and have been doing that for, what are we into, our 8th, 9th season?
Going into 9.
People are still caught up in it. It's just a testament to how brilliant he was to be able to find something that the audience would really resonate with.
Yeah, well, that's only 3 million people in the United States. I mean, then
Oh, that's true.
In Canada, and however many more millions watch there, and then all around the entire world. The world is captivated by the Curse of Oak Island. So,
well, let me ask you, because I'm on the inside looking out. What is it about the show that really captures your interest? Why do you watch it each week?
Why wouldn't we?
Well,
there you go.
No, Deidre and I are also treasure hunters.
Oh, okay.
We dig for buried treasure, but it's not nearly the same scale. But
who can?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's the biggest treasure hunt in the world. But we dig for buried treasure, and we know how hard it is, and we try to convey that to our audience. We have we get a couple thousand views on Facebook, but we have thousands and thousands of people that listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
and so we try to put out that, hey, what they're doing is not easy. It's extremely hard. What we dig for and we can't find is buried 3 feet deep. What we're looking for is over 100 feet deep, maybe 200 feet deep. I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do. And then we have guys like Tony Sampson come onto our show, and we do an interview with him, and he tells us, well, try to hit a target like that underwater.
Right.
It's buried underwater, and everything's moving and everything. So like, this stuff is incredibly difficult, and people expect them to find something every week. And we don't have those same expectations because we know how it is.
It's treasure hunting, not treasure finding.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, it's that's interesting to me because the show is about searching for treasure. If it was finding treasure, then you're over and done, in an hour. And it's about what it takes, having goals, working within a budget, working with conflicting ideas, working as a team. So it has all these wonderful elements that and everybody's got a kind of a stake in it. Everybody, I think, kind of identifies with, as a kid or an adult, you go out there and you search for treasure. Where you're exploring. You don't know what's out there. You don't know if you're going to find it, where you're going to find it, or what you're going to find. And these guys are legitimate. This is not something they did just for television. No, this was their childhood dream. And I think people resonate also to the sincerity that's there, that these guys are really trying to do something. And I know in that final episode with when Gary Drayton said what he said at the end, that, Rick, we're going to follow you. We're going to stick. We're not going to let you go by yourself, man. We are committed 100%. And it was so from the heart that I think people got let's call a little peek behind the curtain as to the sincerity of what it is these people are trying to do. And whether they succeed or not, I mean, what is success? What they find the Ark and the Covenant, that's success? Well, in some people's minds, maybe it is. Maybe the fact that these two brothers worked on this together and through difficult times stuck with it and followed their dream. Maybe that's what success is just committing to a cause and going for it. But I know that the people that watch it, for a variety of reasons, I have people that have contacted me and said they watch it with their family because it deals with things that, it's non-threatening. You can have a 6-year-old watch the show and he's not going to be offended by anything. In fact, he's probably going to be, or he or she is probably going to be excited by all the machines and all the stuff that they're doing. And they talk about issues that the kids are learning at school, or how people work together, or why they're doing this or why they're not doing that. And it opens up the discussion within the family that is healthy. And it's really nice to be a part of something like that. I mean, I've been in video games where you play the bad guy, and it's just, you know, shoot him up, kill, 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 kill. You know, what's the moral message behind that? Not a whole heck of a lot. But with something like this, there's, you know, it's family working together and sticking together, even if they're irritated with one another.
Mhm. Yeah, the family and the whole fellowship, right? I mean, we're all there for their journey, and it's really been amazing watching them.
And it's been fun watching the fellowship grow too.
Yes.
You know, like every season they seem to get a couple more people, and they just fit right in, and it's a big
Yeah.
giant family, and it's incredible what they're able to achieve together.
They're all so
Yeah,
genuine.
and let's face it. I mean, they're doing it on a scale that, I mean, we could only dream of. I mean, they're blessed in that they have the financial ability to really go for something like this in a way that the average person is never going to be able to. And there's so many mysteries that are associated with this island, so many clues that they've discovered. It's difficult to basically say, "Oh, it's all BS. There's nothing there. It never has been." Why have people been mesmerized for over 200 years? What is it about this space? And even if it's just a matter of discovering what the history is of that particular section of the world, that's fascinating.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, everything about the show, everything that it covers, everything that the guys on the show do is just it's fascinating.
Hmm.
And you know, I understand, like, when they do find random things that they weren't expecting. You know, I feel gobsmacked right there with them. You know, and it's amazing what they're able to do. And the team is what they're just the they're a family, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that's what
fellowship.
brings people back over and over,
yeah,
because everybody, you could see, they might not say "I love you" to each other, but you could tell that there's a lot of
A lot of
yeah.
love.
love in that war room.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we do have a listener question from Amy Schultz on Facebook, and she
Mhm.
asks, "Which of your theories is your favorite and why?"
Of the theories on Oak Island?
Yep. Yep. On okay.
Um, goodness. Well, I love the whole Templar angle because,
Yeah.
you know, that's something that not only have we explored on Oak Island, but on other shows that I've narrated. And, you know, it's I'm one of those people that I'm not locked into one particular uh, um, idea as to how, or, you know, theory. I'm kind of open to all of it because I love to learn. And when they talk about, you know, the Rochefoucauld family, or they talk about the Templars, or they talk about Marie Antoinette, all of a sudden there's all these, and the Incas, the Mayans. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. There's a lot of activity, a lot of question marks, and so I'm kind of following how they go. I think that they're right on track. They've got some, well, I don't want to give anything away, but they've got they got some pretty cool ideas as to what I think their next attempts are going to be, and it's I admire the guys. I'm as you can tell, not only am I the narrator, but I'm also a fan.
Good. That's awesome.
Very invested, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, as we all are. Yeah, so we did have that end of season drilling down episode with Maddie Blake, where Craig, Alex,
Mhm.
Jack, Rick, and Marty, they all said they hope the Templar or the treasure is Templar related, like
Hmm.
you. And that's what I
Yeah.
feel. I mean, if we can have anything, please be Templar.
Yeah, because the Templars were involved with everything. You know, if the Templars are involved, that opens up so many avenues to explore.
Yeah, well, that cross that Rick and Gary found a few years ago. I mean, what an artifact!
Really? Yeah, come on. What, 16th century? Really? Okay, well, how'd that get there?
And it looks just like the cross they saw months before in France.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
I just,
Deidre's gobsmacked
I'm
right now.
gobsmacked. I
Yeah.
can't even. It's so much.
Yeah. So, do you think that there's any chance that the treasure has already been collected, for example, to fund the American Revolution, like it's been presented on the show, or
Oh,
by some
man.
other group? Do you have any, or do you feel like it's still there?
My guess is I think there's still something there. I think that over the 200 years, I know we bring up Samuel Ball a lot, that he was, I think I'd call him a simple cabbage farmer. I've probably said that just about as many times as I've said could it be?
Right.
And the question is, how could a simple cabbage farmer end up being one of the most wealthiest men in that region of Nova Scotia? Maybe there was a lot of money to be made in cabbages back in the 1700s. Doesn't seem like it would be a huge moneymaker, but maybe they eat a lot of cabbage up there. But my guess is he probably either discovered stuff, stumbled into stuff. It was, I think that there was a lot of stuff that was put there over the years. And did he find a portion of it and spend it? Yeah, that's a pretty good guess. That's something that he probably did. But my guess is there's still something there. I mean, just finding the road that they're finding, the stuff that they find when they drain the swamp or Smith's Cove, and it's like, why would somebody build something there? It makes no sense. I mean, it's not like you just, it's not like you're just, I don't know, just it takes time and effort.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to do, like you said. I mean, you're going to build a road in Nova Scotia, okay, and you're building it in the 1600s. You're bringing in rocks, okay. How many people are involved in this? It's a big endeavor. It's not just a couple of guys with a pickaxe.
Yeah, and one of the things that they have touched on the show in the past is like, all right, if you're going to dig a giant hole to retrieve the treasure, you're probably not going to fill it back in and just leave no traces behind. So that lends to possibly it being more of a not found, right, in my brain, because like they would have left some kind of evidence behind.
We don't know. We don't know. There's more searching to be done. And these guys are not giving up. If anybody's got an idea, grab a shovel, come on up to Oak Island and just start digging. I've made some jokes. I say on the show, what did I say? 200 years, solving a mystery that has eluded, the key to solving a mystery that has eluded researchers for close to 200 years, over 200 years. I tell people now that we have a little bit of it's a lockbox outside of the war room. It's clearly marked that says, place the key to solving a mystery that has eluded researchers for more than 200 years here. So if you've got that key, just kind of pop it in there, and we'll work through it and eventually unlock that the little lock. Yeah. So if you got the key, bring it on up.
Wow, we better find it. Then we could have a seat at the war room table.
I know.
There you
go.
All right. So, we actually have something a little bit special planned for you.
Yeah. So. Something, I mean, we've tweeted back and forth and such, about our Clotworthy moments, and we have asked, a lot of people have also asked if you've been into the island before, and we know you haven't.
Unfortunately, I have not. I hope to go. I've kind of put the feelers out a little bit. I know I've heard back from Laird Niven, who we tweet back and forth every once in a while, and he would love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, I guess, scheduling it more than anything else, because once they're up there working, I'm usually down here working. So it's difficult to, especially last year where, who knew whether we were even going to have a show or not.
Right.
But I would love to go up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I know you'd love to meet the guys and such. So our goal, of course, was to maybe bring some of the island to you, since it's been a couple of COVID years, and we can only do so much from here, but maybe do a little bit. So first off, let's go ahead and bring in one you have spoken about with.
Hey Robert, how are you?
Laird, how are you doing, my friend? Oh wow, what a surprise.
Great to see you.
Yes.
All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and add one more for you. We have also
Mr. Clotworthy. Good, nice to meet you.
Yes, pleasure. I say your name a lot.
Do you have like a tally board of how many names you've said the most,
Oh
or
my
like
goodness!
winning?
Oh, it's gotta be
I think that the number one has got to be Rick and Marty Lagina, because it's usually just the two of them together, and it's usually brothers Rick and Marty Lagina.
Mhm.
Every once in a while, it'll be Marty and Rick Lagina, but usually it's Rick and Marty Lagina.
Yeah, sometimes you got to switch it up.
Mhm.
But we do want to thank Laird and Arron for coming and joining us, and so we can do some chatting with
Mhm.
Robert Clotworthy, the
Yeah.
voice of Oak Island. Because
How's it going up there, guys?
Stormy
Great.
today. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
you know what? We actually have one more person joining us.
Uh-oh.
Let's see who it is.
No.
It's the guy that's in charge of the island, Scott Barlow.
Scott, how are you doing?
G'day, folks.
Hey, Scott.
Good to see you.
Oh, this is what a great surprise this is. I'm loving this. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so,
We never get to talk.
Yeah, we thought it would be a lot of fun. So I was going to ask you, Robert, what is one of your, do you have a memorable moment featuring each of these guys that showed up today? So like a Laird moment, an Arron moment, and a Scott moment, even maybe just
Oh my goodness.
I know,
Not really. I mean, it's, when I'm recording the show, I don't get to see it while I'm recording it. I'll only be able to see the stuff afterwards when I check in to see what the episode is. But Arron, I love what you and Miriam are doing. I love whenever they go down there and explore the road. I think is really, really fascinating as to what that's all about. And it's just so many mysteries, and where it leads, where it's coming from, where it's going to is I think it's incredible. I mean, how long do you think it took to build what you found so far?
I don't know. I mean, Billy Gerhardt had some estimates, having moved a lot of stone in his time, but I'm not sure, to be honest. A fair bit of time and a fair bit of manpower for sure.
Yeah, it's not like you can do that in a couple of weeks. No, it's going to be years with a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I just have to tell you, Mr. Clotworthy, when I was heading up, I said that I was going to speak to you, and my 9-year-old daughter said she really loves how you can make even the smallest artifacts sound really interesting. And I said to her, well, I talk about artifacts all the time. And she said, yep. And then walked away. So you've sparked some interest in my daughter, I think. So
oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah, it's funny. I did this cameo thing a few weeks ago for a fellow's daughter, and he says, my daughter said he sounds really nice. that was her thing. So that's very, very kind of her. Tell her hey for me, and give her a hug. Wow.
Yeah, anybody can go to Cameo and get a shout out from Robert. I mean,
We did
it. Yep.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right.
Yep, and it was a lot of fun. So we encourage everybody to do that. We also got something from Robert from I think is it Jemmy? This is one of your scripts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
yeah, one of my original scripts.
Yeah, it says, could it be we got more wood?
Well, I joke about wood a lot because we talk about it, but I say, well, the island is called Oak Island. Remember that. If it was Popsicle Island, we'd probably find a lot of popsicles, but we're finding wood.
Yeah. Well, it's what you got to work with what you got, right?
Yeah.
So Laird, you once told us that the number one person you want to come and visit Oak Island is Robert Clotworthy. Is that
Absolutely?
I want to come,
I know.
Laird.
Like Robert said, we've been tweeting back and forth, and it'd be really, really great to have him out there, and because what he does is amazing, because he doesn't actually, you narrate without seeing what's being shown. So it would be so amazing to have you right there while we're doing our thing.
I'll just describe whatever it is you're doing. while
Well,
you're
that would
doing
be
it.
perfect.
There's Laird Niven. He's now walking over and tying his shoe.
Yeah, it might be a little boring for a while.
Oh no, I love it. I give me a shovel, let me dig. I want to get my hands dirty to say that I'm part of it, that I actually got a sore muscle as opposed to just a sore vocal muscle from talking.
Well, you're definitely part of it. You have been for quite a while, man. Wow. Yeah. So, hey, we do have a question for Scott with Robert here. So, how strange is it? How cool is it to meet someone who narrates your every move while you're working?
Oh, it's an honor. I don't watch the show, but Robert, what I have saw, you do a great job of it. I think you're a part of the show, making it what it is.
Well, that's really, really kind of you to say that. I mean, honestly, guys, this means a lot to me to hear from you directly because, as you know, I'm here in LA. I'm approaching the show from a completely different place, and like I told Deidre and Dustin, if I wasn't narrating it, I'd be a fan of it. And I think what you guys are doing is so fascinating. And I don't get the script in advance. I don't want to read what's happening ahead of time. I want to be in the moment. So when you guys are discovering something, it's as if I was there. I'm as excited about it as you guys are. And if I can kind of just let my natural interest, excitement be conveyed to where the audience gets a little bit more connected to what it is you're doing, then I think I'm doing my job. But you guys are the ones that are doing the physical work. And I would love to just go up there and hang with you and literally, I will dig. I want to say, man, I put a shovel in the ground here.
Well, you don't just need a shovel. Like you could take the new Rick approach by grabbing a trowel and hanging out with Aaron on the stone or in the uplands at the.
Yeah, I would love to go with with you, Aaron. Just take the little brush and just kind of take little just uncover stuff as well. I mean, all that's I find it all fascinating.
Yeah, it can be addictive. Rick was quite hesitant, and then at the end, we could hardly get him out of the uplands. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it was fun to watch Rick jump in there with you, Aaron, and because we never would have suspected that he'd be so into trowel work.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
It wasn't Gary's comment at the end of the final episode was so genuine and so from the heart. I mean, it brought a tear to my eye just watching it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he said that we'll go with you anywhere to Rick. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't get better than that. I mean, it doesn't show much more of like a cohesive unit. The fellowship is a family. So
yeah,
Sometimes dysfunctional family, but
that's any family.
I'm saying, isn't that all
Right,
families?
Scott?
Like,
That sums it up pretty good, I'd say.
yeah.
All right, so actually, we have one more person to bring in.
Oh my goodness, this is my mind is about to explode.
well, good. That was our goal.
The thing is, I'm fans of all these guys.
Yeah,
I'm like a fanboying out right now.
Good. We're fans too.
Here,
so.
let's fan out some more.
Yeah, let's bring in.
What did he say? Oh my God, I can't take it. I can't take it.
Yeah, Tony Sampson is here. What's up, Tony? How's it going?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey, Tony.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah, Tony.
this is too much.
Tony,
It's not even my birthday, and like I've got all these gifts I'm getting. How are you doing, Tony?
Good. I'm so happy to be able to join you guys here today. I just got off the ocean, and as Arron said, it's horrible out there. It's blowing and raining. It's miserable.
I want to ask you so many questions, but I don't want to know yet. I want to discover, when the fans discover what's going on. But I'm excited about this season, man. Boy, oh boy. I mean, after first of all, you guys dealing with COVID when we weren't even sure whether we were going to have a series or not. a season or not, I thought this last season was probably the best ever. I mean, from this horrible situation we were all in came this, I don't know, everybody just kind of, if it was possible, even bonded closer with this and said, man, we got to stick with it. And also, I think the fans really appreciated this season a lot because they needed that distraction, that release, that place where they could go to on Tuesday nights and just, get out of their own, whatever was going on in their own lives, even if it was just for an hour. And it was so helpful and so healthy for so many people. So it's more than just searching for treasure, guys. You guys helped a lot of people just being there.
We completely agree. Like as viewers, it was it meant the world to us that you guys didn't just go out there and you guys went out there and did more than we ever could have expected you to do. And the season was absolutely amazing. Just like Robert said, it's the best yet.
Is the best yet to come? That is the question.
Yeah.
And Robert, you've been narrating, Tony for a long time. Like, he
8
was
seasons,
the first picking up the stones off of that stone
Yeah.
path, the paved area.
Yeah.
So when you started saying they were
Well,
on,
I think Tony, we've also had you in Civil War Gold as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't in that one. No.
I'm trying because I could Ancient Aliens for sure.
No.
What? Are you serious?
No.
You just feel like
just the Oak Island one, Robert.
Just the Oak Island one? Oh my goodness. How about
long.
Beyond Oak Island?
No.
Oh, I'm over 3. Gosh, I'm like Albert Pujols or something.
Well, we didn't really give you time to prep, so I mean, it's only fair.
Yeah. So, we've got Robert here, Tony. You want to give him a tour on your Salty Dog Sea Tours one day, right?
Yeah, hopefully when it's a lot nicer than it is today. Yeah, it was not much fun out there today at all. She was really.
Well, I'm pretty good on a boat. I've pretty much a cast iron stomach, so we can go into the choppy waters and I should be fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the beauty up here. I mean, on a nice day, it is absolutely fantastic. But the reason we have so many shipwrecks up here around the coast is because it can go from beautiful to hell in a handbasket really quickly. And so that's why there are so many wrecks all around the coast here.
Are you guys all as excited about the show as when you first came onto it? I know that I am. Every time I go in, it's like my first day at work. I have that kind of excitement about being involved with it. Is it that same way for you guys after all these years?
Well, I remember at the end of season 4, my first season, I said, well, this is it. They're not going to do anything else. And at the end of season 5, I said, well, this is it. They're not going to be able to do anything else. So, I've moved on since then.
Yeah. Well, I remember, the first couple of episodes. I think we did. God, I'm trying to think. It was like 3 or 5 episodes the first season, and the producer at the time saying, "I don't know where they're going to go from here." And now I kid him every time I see him. I say, "Okay, how many hours have we done now? Was 150? 3 million people a week?"
Yeah. So Robert, what do you think is the secret behind the success of the show? Like, why is it so popular, do you think?
Well, number one, I think that the brothers are very interesting. Their relationship is it's something a lot of people can relate to. And if you have siblings, whatever, I think you can identify with these guys that they truly do love one another. They're brothers, and Marty is helping Rick to realize their childhood dream. And so I think that's what people resonate to. Number one is that these guys are genuine, that their relationship, the way they work together is really pretty interesting. And it's very functional. I mean, still have emotions. They still, get angry with one another, but they work through that. And also the cast that has been put together, all you guys, first of all, you're darn interesting. You're charismatic. You're fun to look at as far as watching what's going on. People can't tear their eyes away from what it is that you're doing. And the quest is something that I think everybody kind of relates to, and it goes back to when you were a little kid, just going into your backyard and kind of looking to see what was there, and then finding whatever it might be, a piece of this or a piece of that, and going into your mom or dad and say, "Look what I found," right? And sometimes they would say, "Oh, that's very valuable," and they make up. They say, "Oh, that's treasure. Put that away. Save it." So it resonates to that childlike aspect that we all have, that wonderment. And I think as human beings, we're naturally explorers anyway. And the show has been able to bring that to people in a way that I think is completely unique. And also to do it at a scale that nobody could, in their wildest imaginations, could ever anticipate that this is possible, that you'd be bringing this kind of equipment in. I remember one time I was reading in a show, talked about some giant machine that was coming from, I think it was coming from Korea. And it was specially built. And first of all, I thought, wait a minute, when did they plan on this thing? You can't just order this thing off the shelf and pick it up. You've got to plan a year in advance, I'm sure, if it's some custom machine. And then how does it get from Korea to Nova Scotia? Did they drive it across Canada? Did they go through the Panama Canal? I started thinking about just the logistics of it. And to me, I find all that fascinating. I mean, there's also, growing up, if you had a little boy, if you wanted to keep him occupied, you just put like a VHS cassette of a construction site on television. All it is trucks going in and out, a cement truck, whatever the heck. Nothing's going on, no story. And they're mesmerized. Well, I think there's also that aspect to it, is that you see this stuff going, you go, how does Billy Gerhardt work that thing? What is this machine? What, it kind of spins and goes down? You've got all these experts doing it. So it's fascinating on so many levels. And then, of course, it's approachable. Everybody can watch it. You don't have to be afraid of bringing like your 10-year-old to watch this show. There's a wholesome aspect to it, and the way that you guys work together is wonderful. I mean, you're giving great life lessons to people.
It's only wholesome.
And you're all heroes. You're all heroes. It's great.
Sorry, I was going to say it's only wholesome since Dave left. So.
Right, the outtakes. Right.
Oh, we need some outtakes, please.
Maddie said at one point he's gonna try to get us drilling down with outtakes and bloopers.
Yeah.
Crossing our fingers.
Well, you don't want any of my outtakes. No, that would land me in prison.
Well, actually, speaking of, we do have one more thing that we'd like to share here.
Mm-hmm.
That there was a lot of people that wanted to come and they couldn't. It wasn't in their schedule to be here today.
Mm-hmm.
But one person went out of his way to record a video for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna play that video here in just a second.
Oh my goodness!
3 guesses.
The first 2 don't count. Oh,
this is drilling down. I don't even know why I bother. I'll never be worthy of the clot. Oh, hello, Robert. It's me, your old pal, Matty. All kidding aside, one of the greatest honors of working on this show is the fact that sometimes I'm even mentioned in the same breath as the greatest to ever do it. Cheers, my friend. I can't wait to see you on the island someday. And I can't wait to see you in Los Angeles one of these days and give you a big Matty Bear hug. All the best. You're the best.
Yeah, Matty is a good guy, man. He does a great job. Boy, does he do a good job.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah, we just had an interview with him a couple of weeks ago, and he like literally.
He was a blast. Yeah.
Well, he just loves Oak Island. He loves all of you guys.
Oh,
And,
yes.
His enthusiasm really shows. So, but yeah, he was basically pretending to do a Clotworthy moment there, but he couldn't get it because there's only one. There's only one guy.
There's only one plot.
Yeah. And actually, so on our podcast weekly, we have a vote for the Clotworthy moment of the week. We have not done our recap of the season finale yet because we're doing these interviews, but we've been saving the winner from the last week that we did in this moment until right now.
Okay, all right.
So everybody gets.
This is like a roast. I'm loving this.
No, this is great.
It's a gentle roast.
No, this is great. So this is the Clotworthy moment of the week winner from our last episode of the podcast.
Okay, here we go.
A drop of the drill rod of nearly 18 feet? Could it be a natural void of some kind?
So drop the drill rod.
I don't know. I'm like embarrassed at the same time. I'm thrilled and honored.
Oh, we have lots of people voting on this every week. It's a big deal for our podcast, so we're honored to share that with you.
Yeah, I mean, you have Clotworthy moments every week. We know these guys always have something offhanded to say, and we usually grab those clips and use those throughout.
Yeah, like here's one that we clipped of Laird.
Do you want to travel?
we always save the best of the best, and our favorite of the season. Sorry, Aaron, we got to do it. This is our favorite clip of the season.
Oh yeah, girl.
Oh gosh.
You know, what's funny in the script, it's a transcription, so that all those lines are there.
Too much time in the swamp.
That's awesome.
That's my only defense.
Well, now tell me, guys, are Rick and Marty do they like what I'm doing? I haven't met them yet. I would hate to think that they're thinking, "Oh God, that Clotworthy is incredibly irritating."
I gotta love
it. As far as I know, they do.
Okay. All right, they're okay.
They're pretty important members of the show. If they're watching at home and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't get," let's move on to a different narrator. You know, you probably would have heard about that by now.
Yeah.
So you're doing a great job.
Well, it ain't broke, so we're not going to fix it.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a really good formula, and we just, I'm just so happy that we could get all of you guys together for this. This is something that Deidre and I have been thinking about for a long time because we've interviewed everybody here except for Scott. You know, we're hoping to do that.
He's a hard one to pin down. I would just like to point that out.
It's super impressive he's here.
Yeah. What's that all about, Scott? Why are you so difficult to pin down?
It just took somebody as special as you, Robert.
Oh, get out.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
I want to come up there and go to the Mug and Anchor pub, man, with you guys. Just kind of.
Please arrange that when we're there, and then
we'll all go. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to talk to the people at Prometheus and see what we can do, because it's got to happen.
Well, look at it. These people really want you there, Robert. So it's definitely got to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Deidre and I have been thinking about this for a long time, and the reason we haven't reached out to you to do an interview sooner is because we wanted to make this like a moment like this happen where we can have all these people, and we had to really butter them all up first.
It's like a year of buttering up Scott to get him here. I'm not kidding. So
that envelope that you promised better arrive.
Is it possible that Scott Barlow? Could it be?
Oh man, so we got the Clotworthy moment, we got the Maddie Blake video, and that was so great of Maddie to send to us.
Yes.
And you know, we're kind of wrapping it up here because we told our guests, our additional guests, that we'd want to hold them longer than 30 minutes, and it's almost to 30 minutes. If you guys have anything else you'd like to say to Robert, please just go for it right now, and we're gonna eventually, or really soon, wrap it all up.
Well, actually, I think it's been fascinating to learn Robert's background, and because most people see you just as the narrator of The Curse of Oak Island, and yet you have this diverse and long background in acting and narrating, right? And I think that's been wonderful to learn about you.
Oh, thank you.
Scott?
We're not going in alphabetical order here. I think it's great to get to actually speak with you. I mean, it's one thing, like I say, we hear your voice, but to communicate and kind of put a face to the name and be able to talk with you and listen to you on my part, because I don't say much. No, it's wonderful you're able to be here.
Yeah, but I bet you Scott's got a spot for you at Money Pit on Terry's operating table right next to him. You guys can cut open.
Oh yeah, give me the. Let me do that. Let me pick through the spoils.
I'll find a spot for you on every job site on the island. Make sure you.
Scott will put you to work.
Yeah, it's like Clotworthy.
This isn't a free ride.
Talk is cheap, buddy.
This isn't a
You're on the table.
And I'd just like to echo what Scott said. I mean, you're such a huge part of the show, an integral part of the show, and to finally get to meet you is a real pleasure. So hopefully we'll meet you in person one day.
Well, thank you, Doctor. I really appreciate that.
I also agree, Robert. It would be marvelous to get you up here. And I love the idea of a mug and anchor cruise. Maybe we leave Oak Island on the boat and end up at the mug and anchor pub.
There you go. I'm with you, Tony. 100%. All in, right?
That sounds truly fantastic. All right. So I'd like to, Robert, do you have anything you need to, anything you would like to promote, or how people can follow you on social media, since this is your interview?
Oh, well, I've got the Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I mean, all the normals that people have out there. But more importantly, let's continue watching Curse of Oak Island, because what's happening up there is fascinating. It's important, and it's also a lot of fun to be on this journey with everybody that's working up there. So let's continue to support the show. Keep tuning in, because we're on a journey of exploration, and the only way to find out is by keep going. People that say to me, well, you're not finding anything. I said, well, what would you say to any explorer? Would you say turn around after a couple of days? That's not the way humans are. We keep searching. You don't know what you're going to find. Even when you find it, it may not be what you expected or anticipated or what you're even looking for.
Yeah.
But the only way to find out is to keep going. And I admire each and every one of you for the work that you've put in, and for the great joy that you're giving to so many people each and every week. I hear it from people all the time how much they love the show, look forward to it. And it's what we call destination TV. And that's rare nowadays, to have something that is destination TV, where people say Tuesday at 9:00, this is where I'm going to be. This is what I want to watch. And it's a testament to each and every one of you that's up there working so hard. And you really are truly helping a lot of people get through what has been a very difficult time this last year plus. So again, thank you.
Awesome. And, just sorry to any of our listeners that, we potentially didn't get to your questions that you had submitted, but, it's been a really great time hanging out here with Robert and everybody.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and call it good.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Laird, Arron, Scott, and Cody. You guys really knocked it out of the park for us. Thank you so much for doing this for us, and for Robert, because it meant a lot to us, but it probably means even more to Robert. He's been narrating your guys' life for the past number of years. So Thank you so much.
Yeah. And just hang on for a second, and then we'll catch up, and I'll go ahead and end the broadcast.
All right. Well,
until next time.
Could it be? Or wait, maybe Robert can do that. Until next time, then we say could it be afterwards. So
Okay.
Until next time.
Could it be?